Assalamualaikum and greeting Mr. Hanif. Firstly, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Nufardina binti Omar, and without further ado, let's talk about a logical fallacy. So, everyone may recall a situation in which they were being fair, kind, and reasonable in an argument, and their opponent responded in unfair or unconnected manner. Alternatively, vice versa. It doesn't matter if it's in a conversation, a group discussion, or society at large. This logical fallacy or a typical mistake in thinking that may derail a logical argument are example of unjust or unconnected claims. Before that, what is the meaning of logical fallacy? A fallacy is a false notion or belief. The soundness of an argument is referred to as logic. To be called sound, all of an argument premise must be true, and the argument must be legitimate. According to classical rhetoric, this logical fallacy in truth are harmful and can derail an argument. Logical fallacies are not just prevalent in reality, they may also be found in fiction. Fallacies aren't as right as one might believe, and uneven one requires a true consideration of the many sorts of logical fallacy.
Hi, today I will present about two topics. First of all, correlation is not causation. Definition: a correlation between two variables does not automatically imply that one causes the other, though correlation is necessary for linear causation in the absence of any third and countervailing causative variable. It can indicate possible causes or areas for further investigation. Pattern that can lead to faculty. Conclusion is confirmation bias. People want to be right. They often can't admit they are wrong, even if their attitude can eventually harm and loss. Other than that, is the illusion of causality. Putting too much weight on your own personal belief or overconfidence often produce an illusion causality. For an example, the data in the slide shows the high school graduates and total pizza consumption in the US each year. The more likely explanation is that the number of people receiving a high school degree and the total pizza being consumed are both increasing as population increases. Although these two variables are correlated, one does not cause the other. Next is my second topic, which is appeals to the bandwagon, authority, and pity. The definition for this topic is a logical fallacy makes an appeal to a certain popular idea, value, or taste, and uses only its popularity as evidence for its truthfulness. Examples. Scenario for this topic is, Shafika notices that many of her former university friends have iPhone latest model version when she saw her friend's Instagram story. So Shafika decides that she buy one to join the trends. That's all for me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ahmad Zaim bin Ahmad Zaidi. I will be presenting about logical fallacies of slippery slope and attacking the motive. So for the slippery slope is a specific type of logical fallacy. A logical fallacy is a flawed argument. There are many different types of logical fallacy. Slippery slope is one of example of a fallacy. It is an argument that suggests taking a minor action will lead to major and sometimes ludicrous consequences. For example, if we allow the children to choose the movie this time, they are going to expect to be able to choose the school they go to or the doctor they visit. Another example is, if we need to stop allowing college to increase tuition every year, the next thing we know, it's going to cost more to attend college for one semester than it is to buy a new home. So for the attacking the motive, closely related to the fallacy of personal attack is the fallacy of attacking the motive. Attacking the motive is the area of criticizing a person's motivation for offering a particular argument or claim. For example, Mr. Mohan has argued about the usage of handphones in the class should be banned. But why we should support him? We want to use handphones in class. Note that this example shares a common pattern with personal attack. The student will support Mr. Mohan not because they don't like Mr. Mohan, but they don't like the motive of Mr. Mohan ban the usage of handphone in the class. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Generalization, it is a fallacy pressed on rushing to judgment and reaching a conclusion that's often generalized without taking into account.
Definition of strawman. Strawman argument is a flawed line of reasoning that occurs when someone substitutes an opposing argument with a distorted, oversimplified, exaggerated, or misrepresented version of it in order to make it easier to defeat. Typically, it gives the impression of being a reasonable counter to the original claim, but in reality, it attacks a position of view that their opponent doesn't really hold. Next slide. This is a strawman pattern. First, person A has position X. Second, person B presents position Y, which is distorted version of X. And number three, person B attacks position Y. And number four, therefore is false, incorrect, or false. Next slide. This is example of strawman fallacy. Laura's claim is that schools should limit their usage of sugar rather than fat. Laura's suggestion that the government should decide what individuals eat is misrepresented by William. There are two distinct assertions. Nonetheless, by misrepresenting Laura's perspective, William has selected a target that is simpler to reject, either by mistake or on purpose. That's all for me. Thank you. Of red herring. The red herring is an attempt to divert the attention away from the relevant issue by introducing another relevant issue. It is an intentionally made distraction to move the argument or a question to a different issue that is easier to respond to. Next slide. This is a red herring pattern. First, topic A is under discussion. Then is go to second pattern. Topic is introduced under the guise of being relevant to topic A, when topic B is actually not relevant to topic A, and it's become to pattern 3 that topic A is abandoned. Next slide. This is an example of red herring's fallacy.
Appeal to ignorance. This is a serious fallacy that something remains true unless someone proves it to be false.
So in conclusion, we also should be thankful to logical fallacy for the fact that we can recognize our own mistakes and use the knowledge of logical fallacy against stupid argument. The ability to discern a valid argument from a false one is important skills. It is a key aspect of critical thinking, and it can help us to avoid prey to fake news. It is also important to comprehend this logical fallacy since they play a part in a variety of scenarios, including people internet thinking process and disputes on diverse issues. As a result, once we learn more about these sorts of logical fallacies, we'll be able to tell when they are fallacious and when they are reasonable, as well as how to respond appropriately to those who use them. On the contrary, we are sometimes want to win the argument, so perhaps the best way to avoid this fallacy is to be humble and emotionally mature so that it cannot lead us to make poor decisions based on unsound argument, and using them ourselves even by mistake can damage our reputation. I think that's all from us. Thank you.